With just under a month away until the release of Iron Man 3, which is probably my most anticipated movie of the year, I thought it would only be right if I were to review the two movies leading up to its May 3rd release date. So, let's begin with the review for Iron Man. So Iron Man came out back in 2008, and it was the beginning of a 5-year journey of the Marvel Cinematic Universe called Phase 1, which ended with The Avengers. Now Iron Man is a movie about a guy named Tony Stark, who owns Stark Industries, a weapons manufacturer, and once he realizes that his weapons are being used for evil rather than good, he sets out to protect the people that he put in harm's way. Now Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, is played by Robert Downey Jr., and Robert Downey Jr. absolutely kills it in this role. He is Tony Stark. He doesn't act as Tony Stark. He doesn't portray the character Tony Stark. He becomes the character Tony Stark. Now right off from the beginning of this movie, we realize what kind of character Tony Stark is. He's narcissistic, sarcastic, funny, good with the ladies, has great cars, and he is absolutely awesome. Now when this group of terrorists kidnap Tony Stark and bring him to a cave, Tony Stark's character turns from a really awesome, narcissistic guy that every man wants to be to someone even better. I mean, Tony Stark's time in the cave is probably one of my favorite parts of the film, because you see how he transforms from Tony Stark, the guy who doesn't care, who couldn't care less about anything, into someone who really cares and wants to protect the people. To take a character who's already really awesome and change him into someone who's really awesome and more, it takes real talent, and Marvel hit it in all ways possible. Now, Robert Downey Jr. wasn't the only actor who gave it his all in this movie. All the other actors give it absolutely 100%, and you can tell throughout the course of this movie. Now the character of Rhodey, Tony's friend, portrayed by Terrence Howard, was absolutely fantastic. The relationship between him and Tony was really realistic and which I really loved. Now Obadiah was awesome as well. The relationship between him and Tony was fantastic, and the moments of dialogue between them was even better. Now finally, Gwyneth Paltrow as Pepper Potts. And Pepper Potts has to be one of my favorite female actors in a superhero movie because she is just awesome. She's fun, the relationship between her and Tony is realistic, you buy it. As long as you can relate to these characters and make it feel real, then you really can connect to these characters, and that's where this movie absolutely nails it out of the park. Not only is the dialogue between Pepper and Tony really good, but all the other characters' dialogue between each other is absolutely great as well. It's all grounded and it makes it feel real. The dialogue in this film and even the characters make the movie just feel realistic. Now the balance between the realistic element and the comic book element between this film and all those other elements, the comedy, the funny parts, the action, it was all put together so well, and that was surprising because Iron Man is a comic book movie, and to pull it off, not just to feel like a comic book movie, but a real movie in general, it was surprising and it was very gratifying. One of the great surprises of this movie is that the plot isn't just linear. It doesn't just follow through the way you think it would. There's a twist, and when this twist came, the first time I watched Iron Man, I did not expect it, and I was glad I didn't. From the scene where the twist takes place to the end of the movie is just absolutely incredible. There's action, great dialogue, intense moments. Now just saying that the climax is entertaining and exciting is cutting this movie short, because the entire movie as a package is absolutely incredible. They mend the action, the excitement, the entertainment, the comedy all together perfectly throughout this entire movie, which makes this movie one of my favorite superhero movies I have ever seen. So Iron Man had everything. It surprised me, it had great action, great dialogue, great characters. It had everything that a good movie should have, and more. Iron Man was one of the greatest movies of 2008 and still one of my favorite comic book movies of all time. With this being my first movie review, I'd like to give you guys a scale on how I'd like to rate my movies. But since I'm not a big fan of numbering movies between 1 and 10 on how good or bad they are, I'm going to change that out for something else. So I made specific numbers between 1 and 10 equivalent to one word or rating that I would give the movie. So anywhere between a 0 and a 2 is equivalent to absolutely horrible. Anywhere from a 2 to around a 4 will be bad. Anywhere from a 4 to a 5 is okay. Anywhere from a 5 to a 7 is good. Anywhere from a 7 to a 9 is awesome, and finally from 9 to 10 is absolutely fantastic. I don't know where exactly I would put Iron Man on a scale from 1 to 10, but I know it would definitely be between a 9 and a 10. So I'm going to give Iron Man a rating of fantastic. So those are my thoughts on the movie Iron Man. Comment below and tell me how you feel about Iron Man. My review for Iron Man 2 will be out before the release of Iron Man 3, so make sure you check it out when it comes on. Until then, I'm Marco Polo 2417. Have a great day everyone, and I'll catch you all soon.